It's like this. You're on.
Wait! I can't start yet.
Oh, you gotta have your mic.
I wasn't in podcaster mode. I was in
Oh.
sales guy mode.
Oh yeah, you gotta have your. Look at that. That's fancy.
Whoa. This is the mic, so this actually has a bunch of settings, and I had no idea when any of them did until recently. So if I'm talking this way into the mic, it picks my voice up much more clearly, so I can stay here. But if I'm over here and over here, people on the audio, it will actually change the field because the cone is only focused on the front right now, which I had no idea about.
It sounded about the same to me, but it does. Yeah. It's clean, that's for sure.
On the recording, it'll come through differently. But I am mostly sure, not 100% sure, but I'm mostly sure that people didn't tune in today to Intangible Commerce episode number something or another to talk about my microphone settings.
Never know. Those people are out there.
There's a lot of channels that are dedicated to audio, but not Intangible Commerce.
No.
Because we're tackling the serious questions.
Today's commerce questions.
Today's commerce. Hey, question for you. You're going out to, it sounds funny to say it. So, Dave, you're going to work next week.
Correct. Finally going to work.
We've not seen him work yet.
But the play on work is it's WERC, not WORK. Smart people.
Put you on the spot. What does it stand for? What does work even mean?
Warehousing Education Research Council.
Whoa.
Going with that. I mean, that may be not right, but I'm going with it.
He doesn't actually even know. He's going to work and he's still not going to work.
as I pull it up here to see what it really means.
He's Googling it. I can hear you clicking.
Actually, they just call it work. I don't know what it's really called.
There is an acronym. We will find that out, folks. Comment down below if you know what it is. So, David, you're going to work. Well, we think you're going to work at work. We're not exactly sure. For those who haven't been the unindoctrinated or uninitiated, what is wrong? I'm going to have a few more sips of my coffee while you tell us.
I don't even know what's in there.
I mean, I don't know what's in here. Nobody knows. It's mystery. Why should I go? What do I do at work? Who goes to work? What's it all about?
Yeah, work is Warehousing Education and Research Council.
There you go. You had it.
I had it.
Wow.
I've been going and attending for a long time, but no, it's an interesting group that helps individuals and companies, for that matter, with mainly around education. So if you go to their shows, you get a lot of heavy education that happens, and you attend sessions, and there is a trade show concept to it, but it's not big like a ProMat or anything like that. It's, and in fact, this year they're doing something different. They're doing like kiosks, so which I've never done before. So I'm assuming everyone has the same thing, so you don't stand out with your booth, but you have a kiosk, and then people come up and you either invite them over or you have conversations. So, but big time networking, big time. They also have work across the U.S. in different areas. So like I have the work South Central region. You have one in your area. Everybody's got work, subsidiaries, if you want to call them that, in their little individual cities and areas too. So they're heavily involved.
Very good. Very good. So this is an opportunity for folks who aren't familiar with certain aspects of warehousing, certain aspects of even probably some logistics, some benchmarking, some KPIs, to come out and learn what other people have done and understand how they can apply these principles to themselves.
That's right. That's exactly right. And it's really a good time. And it's a tight-knit group, so you meet a lot of cool people. And work and MHI are kind of they own each other now. I don't know if MHI bought work. So if people are familiar with MHI, which is the material handling side, they're all one group now.
Got it. And the conference is coming up when?
next week. It'll run
June
in Orlando, June the, what is that, the 4th?
4th through
Yeah,
the 7th.
4th through the 7th in Orlando, sunny Orlando, Florida.
Orlando. So listen, I got a bone to pick with Orlando. I like Orlando. Nice place, right? Plenty to do.
Mm-hmm.
Great golfing, all sorts of great things. But that airport is just atrocious.
I had someone mention that the other day. Same thing. Actually, it was my back doctor, which we can talk about that too later. But
Yeah, we should. I don't
he
know
was,
about this back doctor.
yeah, no, he was actually. He said the same thing. He said the Orlando airport. You know what's weird about it? I think I know what it is. Any airport that makes you take the trams because they don't have a centralized, terminal.
I
hate that. Like Denver and Orlando and Atlanta. And there's some other ones that do that too.
Yep.
It's just weird to me, and the way Orlando's set up is just odd.
Well, I think the thing too, it depends on the airline, because obviously it's Disney vacation destination, so there's going to be a massive amount of congestion
Right.
coming through the airports through certain times, the summer, spring break, etc. It's just an awful airport during those particular times. I'm sure any other time it's fine, but it seems like every time I go, it's during one of those summer months when the kids are off school and the parents are flooding to Disney, and getting out is a night. I remember Spirit Airline had a line that stretched the almost entire length of the terminal.
Oh boy!
And this thing's almost a mile long or something. It's ridiculous. I thought, wow, I'm so glad I don't check bags. I'm a carry-on kind of guy.
Yes, it'd be horrible.
You get to a certain boarding group part of your life where you just don't need to check bags anymore. I'm in boarding group 1 or 2 usually, so we travel a lot for work, etc. And I don't have to worry about it. I always have an overhead bin space most of the time.
Yep.
I'm a carry-on guy. Even when we go on long trips, I'll roll real tight,
Oh, you're roller. That's interesting. I've never done that.
Oh, the roll. Yeah, that's the way to go. Think with the space management. So this is a military thing. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and we always everything gets rolled. Everything's rolled.
Interesting.
And when you put it into your packs and such, we put it in the Ziploc bags. So it's rolled and in a Ziploc bag. You got something clean to put on, or if you need to segregate something that needs destroyed.
Oh, right. That's actually it's a good idea. You never know.
You can cut down on some bacteria that way too, I guess. But with your regular day-to-day travel, I don't think you got to worry too much about swamp foot.
No,
I hope not. Anyway,
I would hope. Yeah, I don't know. These trade shows can get pretty brutal.
Ooh, they can get brutal. And we've got one coming up in Philly. My first time in Philly. You ever been?
I've been to Philly. Yes, I have been to Philly.
Okay,
yep.
So
I've done the cheesesteak.
I've not. Okay, fun fact. I have never in my life had a Philly cheesesteak.
Oh, there's some famous, somebody maybe can comment in, there's a famous Philly cheesesteak place where they're like, you got to know what you want because they're mean to you when you order. And it's
love that.
Really good. I mean, really good. So
I posted on LinkedIn about, hey, we're going to Philly. I've never been. And there was someone who posted or commented, shout out to Eric Dunyan, great guy. He's got a hell of a business, does some consulting and 3PL services, really good team. And he had mentioned a place, Delmato's or something like that. And I looked it up, and it is sandwiches and cheesesteaks, and it might be that same place where it's like,
could be.
It's old school, right? You gotta know what you need before you walk in the door.
Yes. And I can't remember if it's like, it could be Fred's. Yeah, we'll have to figure it out, and we'll go do that while we're there for sure.
Absolutely. We got a lunch or breakfast, or actually, I don't know when you land. Are you coming in Tuesday?
I come in.
We're gonna map this out, and fans of the show can come see us live.
Yeah, if they're in Philly, they can come check us out.
All 6 people. All 6 people.
Let's see. What week is that thing?
It's going to be the 14th and 15th, so we'll probably land...
Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Yep. I'll be in Tuesday. So
there you go.
We'll have to do that. once the booth
We got
is
a
all
busy
set up.
schedule here, folks. So Home Delivery World's going to be in Philadelphia. If you're not making it out to there, you need to make it out there, especially if you're doing anything with related to, guess what? Home delivery. This is what this
What do
show
you
is
know?
all about. Logistics, 3PL services, software services like Lodua. Lodua, sponsor of the show, partner of the show, practically owns the show.
Right.
There are a lot of reasons why you should come see us out there. Chief among them is going to be, I mean, what's happening in the market today, right? What are you seeing? And let's get into some debt ceiling stuff, but let me throw at you guys a quick commercial here. Let's mark the time so I know where to put this. We're about 13 minutes into the podcast. And what I want to talk, I'm sorry, 10 minutes into the podcast. What I want to talk about with Lodua and why you guys should come see us, right? So this is a software that's focused on your success. We have PhDs on staff. These are folks who understand business and fulfillment model as it pertains to a warehouse, direct to consumer, and even some B2B, right? We've got a huge blend going on. There's a big push in larger companies to offer these D2C services. Amazon has proved it is profitable. It is extremely profitable for you to sell on an app services and products from other people. You don't own the product, but you can fulfill it for them and make a ton of money doing it. That's why the whole 3PL explosion has been 300% for the last 3 years now, and it doesn't seem like it's going to slow down anytime soon.
Nope.
A product like Lodua is going to ensure your success. We're going to make sure that you have the things you need for your clients. The products and services that they're offering are getting to their end users effectively every single time. And that goes for you too, custom brands. Same problems, right? Get your products and services to the people who want them effectively. And that's what Lodua does. And that's why you should come see us out there. So visit Lodua. And that's going to be at booth number, what was it again, David? Do you know the booth number?
Not off the top of my head.
Oh my goodness!
Booth. I've only got the WERC booth, but not the Home Delivery World booth.
Home Delivery World booth number 318 is the Lodua booth
318.
number 318, June 14th through the 15th, and we're going to be out there. Debt ceiling, right? That's a big topic. I think some people are going to ask, "Well, dude, I don't want to invest in software right now. This whole debt ceiling is going on, and maybe you can give us a little bit more, because when I see this, there's like a guy in a room, right? He's just cranking away, and that ceiling just doop 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 doop. Should we be concerned about this? Should we worry, or is this an opportunity to reinvent your brand and re-up on the services for the next 10 years that you're going to need? What do you think, David?
So, debt ceiling, that could probably be its own podcast, right? But I'll throw a number out there of $31.4 trillion. That's your current debt and debt ceiling as of January. So when you think of that, a couple things come to mind. One is, how in the world can any company / nation / person ever run at that kind of debt and be successful, right? It doesn't even calculate. So all the business owners and business people on all 4 of them that are on this podcast listening to us today are sitting there going, "Yep, you're right. No one can live like that. We can't live like that personally. We can't live like that as a business. If our company decided to do that, eventually you just can't. I mean, it's not sustainable." So I find it interesting, just as a overall very plain view of it, like going, it's fake, right? So there's a lot more to it. And I'm not an economist by any stretch of the imagination. But when I look at numbers like that, I think, first of all, they sound fake and it sounds almost ridiculous. Second of all, you don't come back from that. So all you're seeing is all this as a business. If you're looking at the U.S. debt ceiling and the debt to judge how you spend money, well, that's whatever. Go do something else, because you're never going to figure that out. It's not going to correct itself. No one's going to come in and be able to save it and pay that off. There is no payoff, because like you said, it's always going up.
Cranking away.
What it will do, I think, is we'll watch how, politically, we'll watch how people use it, whether you're on the right or on the left or in the middle, doesn't matter. Everybody's going to use it for their own ways, and then we'll have to pay attention to see how it gets exploited coming up, especially when we come to election season.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's whose agenda and how it fits.
Yep.
So in general, then we don't necessarily think that this is more of a news pundit, and maybe some investors might get a little wiggly, but overall, it's going to be come and go as it always has.
That's what I think. I mean, I just think if you look at the numbers, I don't see how you could possibly. You're not going to move it. If anything, it's going to keep moving up. I mean, Congress is constantly spending trillions of dollars, and I think I'd seen where in the last decade the debt's tripled since 2009, and then it's all about borrowing money and leveraging and everything else. What it does do, I think you nailed it, is that these investors start to look at how does that affect the overall value of money. And then again, not being an economist, so if I say something incorrect, people feel free to jump in and correct me, but I'm just looking at it as a layman who just lives in the world we live in. It's all about the cost of money. And look at interest rates today. It's all connected.
Absolutely is.
So, and our customers are using that cash to do stuff, and they're trying to expand.
They are, and the consumer market will eventually respond. It seems like online services have become something of a staple where, the clothes and such is being bought online more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Still something that I'm not super comfortable with is buying clothes online.
Yeah, I'd rather see them. But I'll tell you one thing that I always look at, and people, because I get asked a lot about, what do you think about what's going on in the economy and all that? And I'm like, I hate to tell people this, but in a way, this is going to sound bad, but I don't mind the bad news because I sell a product that actually helps people overcome that. And seriously, so so you look at that, you go, I hate it, but not really, because that's when what I do is needed.
It's when it matters the most, being efficient in your warehouse and in your service offering that you do in your fulfillment network and that connecting those products. And people are going to keep buying. They're going to keep buying.
Yes.
That's the nature of the beast. They continuously buy.
Yep.
And what's funny too is how finicky investors can be. And I don't know who to call it specifically, but there was a thing that circulated around I saw. It was a picture of what looked like something burning near the Pentagon, not at or on, but near the Pentagon. Mm-hmm. And apparently this flustered some investors, and they sold off a huge chunk of their stocks, thinking that the market was going to take a dip based on this supposed something. And I don't want to use the word, anything aggressive. YouTube moderators will knock us right off with everybody else. But the fact that there's some people out there making massive decisions like that to sell off billions of dollars of stock because they saw a picture that turned out to be generated by AI. It was fake. Wasn't even real.
And boy, that's a whole nother conversation, right? The AI thing, how that's going to play into information we read, how things are generated, stories you read. It's scary.
Don't believe everything you see.
Nope.
I think it goes back to we've been hearing the same thing. I remember, I'll age myself a little bit, coming out of, what was I, in high school? Senior year, I think, is when America Online, right, came out, and chat rooms were a thing, and all this.
AOL.
AOL. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. Mm-hmm. There's even a whole news, quote unquote news, devoted to satire. The Onion.
Yep, that's right.
So you could take a news source, if you don't know what The Onion is, and you can put that in front of somebody, it looks like a legitimate article.
That's right.
And it's not.
No.
Don't believe everything you see, folks. Like, I get it. It's AI. It's being generated by a computer on its own.
Yep.
But that's not the first time we've seen something like that.
No.
And sure, it's more sophisticated. And no, we don't know where those lines are because it is new territory.
Yep.
But I'm more of the skeptic. I don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it plays out and how it's used, how business uses it, how consumers react to it. Does it affect, ultimately, does it affect when people buy? I mean, I don't understand how it could. I mean, hey, I'm going to go buy a shirt, okay? Go buy a shirt. Now, it's going to create more opportunities for people to create business and content.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I ran into a gentleman last week when I was out in Charlotte that's kind of what he does is he uses AI to create content around the website and things that he's doing, and people are building a business off of that. They're not even creating the content. It's AI generated. It's crazy.
There are stores on Etsy and Wayfair, places like that, and they sell mugs and t-shirts and art and whatnot, and this art has been generated by AI.
Yes.
So they go in, they generate the art in the AI, and it's digital download, so you can put it on whatever you want. Like, there's a whole business around generating an image. Chat GPT kind of gets the brunt of everybody because it's like the most notable one right now, but the art generators, there's a ton. There's Jasper, there's GenCraft, there's Hotpot. There's all kinds of different generators out there. There are hundreds of them almost at this point, and they've been around for so long that it's just starting to really get picked up.
Take time.
I saw the one guy won a photo competition. He generously bowed out because he admitted, hey, this was an AI generated image. I just wanted to see what would happen. And he won with his AI generated photograph. But that means it's creating some really cool stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. I mean, if you think about it, it won't be long before it replaces us, right?
But how though? How?
Well, somebody could jump on. I mean, if you can self-serve, now I'm kind of being a little bit funny with that, but I don't think it'll ever have the emotion of being able to replace us. But at the same time, if you want to jump on, see a demo, and if it's smart enough to understand, if you just typed in and said, hey, I'm having trouble with labor, and the AI says, oh, okay, well here's 5 examples of how this system saves you labor, and it just goes through and does demos, and it can show you and stop and say, I just saved this much time, or I don't know. I mean, think about all that can be built in. It would be interesting. I think we will leverage that. So
it will make sense at some point, but I think what you're going to find is a world of commodity. The people who are going to win are the ones who still have that interaction, right? Because when I call a customer service line and it's 100% robotic or it's 100% chat, I get a little frustrated. Actually, even just earlier today, I was having some trouble with this Google account. I went through a bit of a malware thing where some hackers were trying to hack my accounts, and I had this whole mess of fixing that. But shout out to two-factor authentication for saving my stuff.
Yes, it'll do it.
Yeah, it does. But I was just thinking earlier, just this morning, I wish there was a person I could call. I wish there was somebody at Google that I could just talk to and say, what do I need to do? How do I fix this? I figured it out. It didn't take me that long in the end. But in that moment, I was frustrated and I wanted somebody to help me.
You won't get that. Yeah.
And you're not going to get that with AI.
No.
It's not going to exist.
No, and you won't get it with Google. I mean, face it, they've created that monster. No. You're not going to get that, which I will tell you, and I know I keep going back to what we're doing. I've got a call today with a customer whose main concern is the fact that they want to make sure the support's good enough.
Yeah.
And it's like people still care about that stuff. And
it's important.
I love it because it's so easy for me to say, oh, okay, well, let me get some support people on with you and we'll go through it. And you'll see how easy it is. I mean, people still want that. So
they do, and I'll tell you that's not going away. And I'll give you as evident by when my kids are doing homework and such, and they get stuck on something. The solution is available. They could Google it, and they could watch a YouTube video, and they could do all these things. But they don't want to do that. What do? They say, "Hey, Dad, can you help me out with this?"
Yes.
And it's us sitting down together and figuring it out. Because when people come together, things happen. That's why the word synergy even exists at all.
Yep. Yeah. No, I'd rather work through it as people than let the computers do it, because the computers can. Hey, remember, someone had to program the computer to do something.
Yeah.
You didn't just think of it on its own.
And as we've seen from ChatGPT and all these AI bots when they first came out, they gave some wonky responses.
Oh yeah, I've played around with it.
I don't know if I'm getting good advice in that environment.
Yeah, I've done some playing around on some stuff, and I thought it was really interesting. I did some political ones without getting into what I did that were really, really eye-opening. Like total same question answered completely the opposite. It was really funny, really funny.
Oh, that'd be good. Love to hear some more about other Chat GPT and other AI experiences from all 16 people watching this show.
Breaking records every day.
Our audience is growing every minute.
Breaking records every day.
Every day. And on that incredible bombshell, it is time for us to end. I hope everyone's enjoyed this episode of Intangible Commerce. And share your AI stories or thoughts, opinions. I know we're edgy, right? We're on the fringe of society with AI.
Of course.
What do you think about it? Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Let us know if we're wrong. Let us know if we butchered the debt ceiling.
And with any luck, two things will happen. One, we will get David to work next week.
Next week.
Go see him.
Next week.
And I will get myself a Philly cheesesteak in Philly, which is the reason why I haven't had one yet.
Maybe you'll get a Philly cheesesteak and go to Costco when we're in Philadelphia.
You're asking a lot. That's
too
lot.
Too much.
Have a great day.
See you, everybody.